Hello,
The broadcast is
everybody.
live.
We are broadcasting live. Just going to give Facebook that hot second to catch up on what we're doing. There we go. Alrighty. My name is Acacia, for those of you who are on my page, but for those who are not and may not know me, my name is Acacia, and I am a Canadian girl now living in Mexico. And amongst the many, many things I get to do, it always stems from this desire to bring possibility to someone's life, whether that's in their body, in their soul, in the whole mix of it. It's all joint. That was a new intro for me. Whatever that was. And I'm here with my lovely friend, Nihan. And we've known each other for quite a few years, actually. We both used to live in the same city. And I'll let her introduce herself because some people might not know her on my page.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nihan. I am living in Vancouver, Turkish Canadian girl. And yeah, about me. Well, I love connecting people with their bodies and their intuition so that they can create the life they truly know is possible and have so much joy in the process. I'm an artist, facilitator, coach, and I've always been the different one, the weird one. And I always thought something was wrong with me. And then it turned out, no, actually, our difference is our brilliance, and I get to live this now. So now I'm on a mission to like, hey, everybody, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's get you, ignite the possibilities in your world so that you can live the life you know is possible.
Love it. Love it. Just add that to my intro and you've got me too. No, I think we're both very passionate about sharing with people that there's these possibilities. And if we remove what we've grown up to be right and wrong, and like, this is the way you're supposed to be, your life really expands. It really pops. It really opens up. And this quote unquote happiness that we're always seeking for outside of ourselves starts to actually be it actually becomes the internal, like what it's truly supposed to be is what is within. And you get to access that anytime, anywhere, any part. And the amount of space and joy that brings to your life. I know for me personally, it's been a journey to step into that and to know that I am just so uniquely me, and that is so needed in this world. And Nihan, you're the same way. And someone watching this or hearing this might be like, oh yeah, like I don't have to be what my parents want me to be. No, you can be aspects of it, but what actually lights you up and how do you want to do it is going to be different from everybody else. I love that. We have a conversation today about relaxation, and I labeled this live stepping into, because I was like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And Nihan like messaged me this morning, was like, relaxation. And I'm like, yes. Because right now I am needing to relax into whatever is coming up next for me. And so this conversation was so on point. I don't know if you know that. I mean, you got the ping for some reason. You were like, this needs to be talked about, or this is what I'd like to talk about. And it was like such an easy yes. And like, okay, let's go there. Let's step into relaxation and see what comes up. Mm-hmm. So where would you like to take us first?
How many of you grew up with this point of view, this rule that you're going to relax once you finish this next project, once you know all the answers to this next thing, once you clarify this relationship thing or job thing, or, once you take care of everyone.
Whew. Oh my gosh.
Everything that springs up, let's like give it to the earth.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Same. And at some point, like, that's how I did school, that's how I did work, everything. Like, even on a daily basis, we'd be like, oh yeah, I'll relax after this, after that. And it's so funny, my mother always used to say, like, I'll relax when I die. Ooh, everything that brings up, oh my goodness. So that kind of stayed in me. And then at the end of my 20s, one day, my body gave up. Like, I literally could not continue. And my doctor said, well, you've never relaxed. You've never truly rested. What do you expect? And I said, but I'm only 29. And she said, that doesn't matter. You don't know how to relax. So I had to learn it.
Yeah.
So it's a skill. How many of you, we're born with that skill, like our natural bodies, but how many of you watching us today and later actually know how to relax? Like, how about you, Acacia? What was your journey with relaxation? Was it a natural thing? Maybe it was, because, you know, you're a dancer.
No, oh my God, like that is a whole other world of shaming relaxation. And I picked that word because it's so sneakily ingrained in things where you have to work so hard before you take a vacation, before you have to work, you have to destroy your body before you can like take a day off. You have to push, and then you can take a second. And so like that was heavily ingrained in a very sneaky manner, very unconscious manner from everybody, including myself, because I bought that point of view and then sold it to whoever I sold it to. But no, my whole upbringing was you work 14 days, you work 7 days, you work 21 days, and then you might take time off, or 5 minutes before bed you can relax. Like, how much time is that spent in go mode? Like, when you do the math, that's a lot of time.
And the go mode, there's something very particular in that go mode for me. I wonder how it was for you. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just, doing things. It was like from this place of contraction.
Yes.
Holding my muscles, tensing up, and like holding my breath, not taking care of my body, not listening to my body. Like, I didn't know when I was hungry. I just would feel this like terrible feeling. Later I found that, oh, that happens when I'm hungry. Apparently I've left myself so hungry. So everything was tied into it, but it was just from this place of like holding my muscles.
Yeah, there was a teacher, actually, I remember this very clearly in my dance world. And it's interesting because from 20, I want to say 16, is when I started learning tools that I use now in my life. They may have been, first of all, spiritual. They may have been, first of all, through different modalities that I've been in. But they started coming into my world in the dance world and into movement practices. And I had a teacher say, you have to let go to go faster. Like,
wow.
movement. And I was like, like, he's like, you have to let go of the tension if you want to move faster. And it pinged in a way of like, okay, I see what he's saying, because like, look at him, he's super relaxed and he's moving across the stage with super speed and he's not missing a beat. But there was this gap of like, okay, well, where do I put the tension? Where do I then put all of that I'm holding on to? Where does it go? And then I learned from another teacher, you have to direct it out. You have to release, not relax. But in the releasing, you do relax. But it's not a collapsing of energy, it's an expansion of energy. So I started implementing this into my movement world. And then I started pulling it into like, okay, well, then how can I be in my serving days? Because I used to be the server that was like, Keisha, you're so stressed out. Like, can I take anything off your plate? Because again, I would contract, same as you, run around, look stressed, but I was just managing 15 things. And then I was like, oh, well, why don't I like dance my way through this with this technique that I know from the movement world and apply it to my serving world, because I'm moving through space. Wow. And I became this like fluid thing on the floor in a restaurant, and people are like, oh, you're moving so fast and you look so calm and you're like so happy. So there was this like really very distinct shift. And then I started to apply it to like, okay, well, how can I be relaxed in managing my business? Looking at my day. And I'm not perfect. I go into those tense modes and I go, oh wait, I don't have to be this. So I don't know where that question began, but
that's beautiful. I love how your journey started. I used meditation and Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, and I started doing all of these things like around 2010. like to get me out of depression. But between 2010 and until 2016, where I ended up with total burnout and adrenal fatigue, I used all of my tools to actually keep going the insanity, like keep showing up with try to make everything perfect, try to fit into everybody's agenda. So even though I had tools of relaxation, some basic tools, I didn't get the full benefits of it, because for me it was about like showing up for everybody's expectations. But when my body gave up, I was talking to a woman who had gone through stuff like this in her life. She was older than me. In 2016, I was in like total devastation, had to leave my job, leaving my marriage, whatever. And then I asked her, like, how will I ever be okay again? How will I ever create anything again? She said, you will create through relaxation. And I wanted to punch her in the face. I get it. You don't get it. I was like, you don't get it. My nervous system was so hyper. I had inflammation. And I was like, I can't even lie down on the couch and relax. I have all the time in the world now, but I can't relax. I have all kinds of anxiety. And she was like, you will learn it. I should probably write to her and say, like, thank you. And I'm glad I did not punch you that day. But this now is this is the next step for me. Like, how do I create something even greater through relaxation? Because since 2016, I connected with nature. That's where, and movement, like freestyle dance. And then when I found the tools of access consciousness, that's when true relaxation really took hold in me, to like, that started becoming my natural state. Now it's 2023 and I'm finally in that place where like I can actually relax and create so much more from this place. But the first person that ever showed me that possibility, I wanted to punch them. So if there's anyone who is having that trigger moment right now, let's acknowledge you. Like, how many of you have had to like hold your breath until the next thing, and now you're in this place, you're not able to relax, your nervous system is hyper. And what if you're not wrong for that? That's where we've all come to with our choices, but also what we've been taught in this reality. And now, are you aware that there's something different has to be possible? So let us be the harbingers of that, like something different is possible. You're looking at it.
Yes, something is. And I want to go back to that, using the tools and keeping yourself in the insanity.
Oh, yeah.
There's a moment, there is something there that, like, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, you guys are like you're full of crap. Like, you can't relax and manage. I've got so many things on my plate. I've heard it. I'm around it sometimes and I fall into that. And then I remember that I don't have to choose. I can use tools. I can ask questions to create this relaxation within my body and within my space. And then I find the flow, and I shift through things with ease and sometimes with speed, or it's easier for me to let something that might not be working kind of like have some space, because I'm not trying to control it again. And then, so going back to that little moment, if we can just expand on this, like, we used tools, modalities, meditation, and we would use it in a way that kept the insanity going. Can you speak a little bit about that? Because that for me I did that for years too.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it was all about, for me, showing up and keeping the status quo going, because I didn't want to, now I look back and I realized there was this anxiety in my world, and I realized if I actually truly relax and if I actually allowed those tools to change my life, I would have needed to like let in new information. And for me, the new information was that what I was doing, how I was living my life day to day, was not working for me. The relationships I was in weren't working for me, but I was so committed to keep them going, because I grew up with this thing, like, our generation is like, oh, if only I can make myself perfect, I can change everyone and everything, I can fix this. And it's great. I truly, truly acknowledge what a powerful thing that is, but I wasn't putting my energy in the right places. So in that case, I was using meditation to like, let me breathe a bit more so I can show up calmly in the workplace. Never mind if my body's falling apart or if I'm like having anxiety, so that I can, get this project through, or I can go through another family gathering or whatever I need to show up in my marriage for. So it was like every morning to like, okay, let me gather everything together so I can actually show up. That's how it showed itself for me, but I wasn't actually I wasn't being vulnerable with myself. Let's put it that way. I wasn't being vulnerable with myself. And for me, my body had to give up for a while for me to really see. Because I don't like, I'm sure you might be the same way. It's like I had this never ending stamina that I thought I can always depend on, which is an amazing thing. I have it again now, but in a very different way. But when that was drained, that's when I had to take a look at myself and be like, oh, how do I actually want to live? Like, yeah.
I hit that I was 27, 28, and I noticed how mad of a person I was inside. You wouldn't know from the outside, but I was just miserable. And I thought that I was so angry. I was just harboring so much. So, there's that journey you go on. And then, I use the tools in the same way where I would use them to stay in what I was in, instead of using them to actually give me awareness and ask questions. Body, is this what you want to be doing right now? How is this contributing to my life? What energy is what I'm doing actually creating? Like, what is this action creating? And that's been a question that I continuously use. And I'm getting more and more into that question of like, if I relax in this 10 seconds, what is this conversation creating more of in my life? Is that actually what I'd like to create right now? And sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no. And I ask that for the things that are like, quote unquote, the nice things and, the quote unquote, the good things or the bad things, right? But if you can remove those labels and just ask, what is it creating more of? It's this awareness part that I think where we used to use the tools to kind of hide the awareness or mask the awareness, or be like, I'm going to use the tools in this way instead of actually using the tools how they're designed, is to bring more awareness to your life. Like even meditation, it is supposed to bring more awareness to your world, but we'll use it as okay, well, if I meditate for 5 minutes, I can get through this crap, but you're not actually saying, well, what's this crap bringing me?
And there's value to that. Like we do need the tools to get through the crap sometimes. And at the end of the day, for me, it was like constant creation of crap in my life to get through.
Awareness.
So that's, yeah, absolutely. I love how you're bringing up releasing.
Yeah.
Like until this conversation, I don't think I was that clear about, but it's true relaxation really comes from releasing what we've been holding on to. And I know for me, movement brings that, nature brings that, this awareness, but there are also very specific tools that have saved my life and brought me this like natural state of relaxation every day of my life, no matter what's going on around.
Yeah.
Do you want to share any of those tools?
Yeah. So I'm going to actually bring in the movement again, because it might create a different, it might land differently for people. So from the movement perspective that I learned this from, it's called counter technique, and it's all about directing to redirect. So when you're moving your body through space, you like send like your left leg down and out so you can fall like to the right with like total ease and like suspend yourself in the air, because you're directing your energy out into the space. So if we can take that kind of visual and embodiment of that, and then be in a situation where like, okay, I need to keep relaxing every 10 seconds, or put on a reminder on your phone every 15 minutes to like ping you to release and relax. Release the energies that you're trying to hold into your world, hold into your body, and release them out. And they don't fall. They just keep going. And it's this willingness, also adding this tool of willingness to let everything that's happening right now. So if the kids are chaotic, if you're super late for something and you're trying to get yourself together, like having a willingness for everything around you to like completely fall, destroy, uncreate it, it wakes you up to choose something. And if that is a choice of like, okay, actually, I need to let it all go. I'm going to take the breathing tool, take some breaths. I'm going to release everything I'm trying to hold into my body and into my world. I'm going to release it out. You want to think the universe, you can think the earth, you can think whatever you want, but releasing it to space, feel that space, and then make a choice. Like what? Okay, I got to put my shoes on. Okay, I need one kid to get in the car. I need to make this one call. Everything else I can let go of. I'm going to make this one call because that's actually the call that determines the next steps. And like, say you're doing a business thing. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to hold everything into your world, again, going back to that control piece, you might not be receiving the awareness that one kid's actually stuck tying his shoes, and it's not that he doesn't want to get, but he's like in the corner trying to do shit, you know? You might not have that awareness, but if you let it all go, you will see things that you didn't think you'd see. Mm-hmm. And it's just a playing in that. And that also came from a trust in the movement side for me. When I let go of all the things and I started playing with the space and the energy of the room, I would see that someone's like coming at me from a different direction, but I could change it because I wasn't trying to control their energy. And I was just like, oh, I can be space and they can like run right past me. But if I was in my world, you would often see collisions happening. And so we would practice expanding out and no collisions would happen on the dance floor. So you can play with the physical aspect of it to start to see it in your world and then maybe expand it so it becomes more, should I say cognitive? Mm-hmm. Is that the right description, or just more
aware, I guess?
Just more
on the surface.
More on the surface and more of everything that's going around you instead of just being like, yeah, your own movement practice. It's just like your life practice, which is everything. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah.
And yeah, thank you for that. Mm-hmm. What you mentioned, it's relaxation expands time and space.
It does. Mm-hmm.
And I used to think that if I can stress out a little bit more, if I can worry a little bit more, then things will get resolved. But you know what? That creates more of the stress. So one of my favorite tools is to like really touch my body and be like, "Hi, body, I'm here." I had early childhood trauma and I went through an abusive relationship. And when I got out, you know, with this whole burnout and all the autoimmune stuff, one of the things I realized was everything, even the smallest things in life, were kind of like high risk. My mind went to like fight or flight, high risk things. So I realized that's where I was living life from this heightened place. And one of the things I learned was like, touch my body and be like, I'm here right now. I know there are a lot of things that need taken care of, and maybe somebody's actually like really requiring my attention. It could be a kid. But I realized like touching my body and being like, hi, I'm here. And we can do this right now actually with everyone watching, like touch a place on your body, like one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and then feel your feet on the ground or your bum in the chair. And when you connect with 3 points, I find that brings me into the present moment. And then I always love connecting with the earth like a tree, sending down my energetic roots. And this is one of the tools that I really love using. And I was in my journey also looking for like, okay, I have all these amazing tools and I'm like one with nature whenever I'm out in nature, but what will it take to, like, is it actually possible to be this? I had this image like I'd be hugging trees and I would feel so relaxed. I even made a drawing of it at some point. Like, I wish I could take the roots of the trees and put it in my head to release everything so I can relax. Because, you know, the mind chatter, the negative loops were keeping me unrelaxed. Like, oh, I can't relax until I figure things out kind of thing. So then I found that thing with access bars, this technique that you and we both facilitate. Do you want to talk about what that is?
Yeah, really simply put, 32, like a very light touch on the head, all different points, 32 of them, and you just lightly touch them. And essentially, when the touch occurs, your body gets the signal to start deleting and reducing the electrical charge around all these thoughts and objections and points of views around different topics in your life. So money and sex and body, speaking of body, right? So we start to dissipate the electrical charge of all the neural pathways that we've created and taken on. Like we get, I think they said 86,000 bits of information per, I think it was minute, our body picks up on all these bits of information, and they go somewhere in the brain. And they react with things in the brain. And they, over time, your brain will create these shortcut auto systems. So when it's like, oh, this comes up, I'm going to trigger this response. And it's automatic after a while. And so when you get your bars run, all these bits of details in the system get erased. They get deleted, they get changed. And you start to find this relaxation in your world in a completely different way. I found it. And it invites you into being that relaxation as part of your being, not something we segregate out into yoga time, not something we segregate out into meditation. It's like it invites you into being it as your being. And it's not asking you to be perfect, but it's that invitation into the way you be. So you don't have to go out of yourself to find it, or out to somebody else to find it. You go in. Anything you want to add to that?
Explain it so beautifully. I love the erasing thing. That's my mind and body required a lot of erasing. Like, imagine somebody touches your head gently and it declutters your mind. It's like hitting the delete button, and all these thoughts and emotions that we're constantly trying to figure out leave your body and your mind. The electrical charge goes away, and suddenly you find yourself, for me, it's like being in nature, where there are no predators, by the way, or no bugs, no mosquitoes, okay? But this like perfect day in nature where like, oh, I am held. That was my first experience with access bars. And then another thing that I really loved about it was when stuff was cleared, whatever was cleared, of course, we don't control that. Our mind and body lets go of it. They did not come back. And that to me was revolutionary. You know, I have so many different modalities. And one of the reasons I didn't check out access bars earlier was like, I'm a practitioner of 15 different modalities. Why add another one where like I need to work at these ones, I need to work hard, I need to like suffer and purify things. And then one day, it was 2020, I was like, I think I'm kinda done. I'm gonna go try this access bars thing. I found a class. I took the class. And after the class, I was a different person. I am not kidding you. And you know what happened? I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
You want to know why? So I was like, why the heck did people not tell me that this could be possible? I have been like working my ass off for the last 4 years, trying to heal from PTSD, trying to heal from adrenal fatigue, burnout, like doing everything, suffering. Nobody told me this kind of relaxation and ease and healing and transformation could happen. So now I go around the world telling people, but you got to have your own experience, right?
You do. And if part of making it hard is part of your experience, then that's your experience and your choices. I think I wasn't ready to hear, because it was not the norm, that if you just, not just, but if you could step into relaxing around the idea that you didn't have to choose suffering to move forward and through whatever you needed to move forward through. That I wasn't ready to hear that, because it's very It's a very different conversation to be like, what if we just are relaxed around that conversation, let the points of views go, and ask a different question of, do I have to make myself suffer or bring up all my suffering so that I could prove that I've actually moved forward in things? And when I started to relax around that conversation, life got very joyful very quickly. And when things, Nihan was saying, when things didn't come back, but situations might come up again. But the reaction or the thoughts around them or how your body reacts, your quote unquote triggers, they're different, or they're not there, or they're like, there's that space where you go, oh, that's there again. That's interesting. Like you literally, those autopilots that are from a neuroscience perspective, they just got thrown in the trash can. So you get actually choice, and you get to choose, and you get to show up in your life and be like, oh, I don't have to freak out about that.
I can handle it. Or
I can handle it.
It's actually so irrelevant to my world. I don't have a reaction to it. I was stunned when I first realized it, and nobody really told me like, oh, this is what might happen, which I am grateful because I didn't have any expectations. But these situations would come up, you know, after my class, and I started, you know, receiving weekly sessions because you get to gift and receive with a practitioner, never have to pay for a session again. I love that part.
I love it. I love it.
And I was watching this movie, and in the movie there was a situation which always triggered me when I saw that situation. It wasn't like anything like heightened, but every time I saw that kind of situation in life, I got triggered to the point like my PTSD had gotten me to a point where I would avoid conversations, avoid people, places, movies, knowing that that situation is present there. So I watched this movie and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna, and then I saw the movie scene and nothing happened. My body did not have a reaction to it. I was so relaxed. I was like, aren't I supposed to be reacting to this? Aren't I supposed to be like getting like really tense in my body and maybe cry or whatever? Wow. Like not having that and not having this like mental loop of like, I was like, what else is possible? Okay, if this is possible, I was like, does anybody else know this?
Who can I tell? Who can I share this with? More people need to know this. Yeah. So we're kind of getting to like the half-hour mark. So, you know, if anyone is seeking more relaxation or curious about the conversation about how what we're offering can contribute to their life, Nihan and I have some beautiful classes coming up. Nihan, you have one actually this month. Can you just share the date and the location of that one?
I have one tomorrow. I am teaching this technique tomorrow in Kitsilano, Vancouver, BC, from 10 a.m. Yeah, if you're interested, just DM me or comment below. I will find you and we'll get you in class. And then Acacia is coming to Vancouver in July to the Lower Mainland, and I'll have the honor of co-facilitating with her. It's a one-day class where you learn this technique and you receive 2 sessions, gift 2 sessions, and you release whatever you've been carrying.
It's a full day in relaxation.
And then you become a practitioner, certified practitioner, so you can use it in your business or with your loved ones or honestly on yourself. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. What could that kind of relaxation create in your worlds?
And there's no getting it right. It's just whatever is showing up in your world is perfect and beautiful. And on that note, we will see you all very soon. We'll come back for more conversations. And if you do have questions, please reach out to either of us, or if you're not in our area, search for a bars practitioner or facilitator or anything access. I'll drop the link in the comment section. So anyone who's like, oh, I want more information, you can just look and follow what's light for you and choose your teachers and your classes that pop.
Absolutely. This technique is in about like 172 countries around the world. You will find someone in your region. You will find events, you will find practitioners. Go.
Seek it. All right, everyone. Until next time, toodles.
Bye.